It's okay to be a little lost today. Hey, I'm really glad you're here today. Sometimes we have days where everything feels just a little tilted. Like our brain woke up before we did and started sprinting down the hallway screaming, "We have 17 problems to solve," before we even had time to get coffee. Have you ever felt that way? I want you to know truly, you're not strange. You're human, and welcome, you're in good company. Before we start talking about anything big, let's take a small moment together. Just take a breath. Not a fancy kind of breath you learn in yoga or you see online or the 4x4, psychological breath. Just a breath. Just, breath. I think sometimes we forget how beautiful it is to just pause and breathe. There you go. You did it. Good job. I've always liked the idea that slowing down isn't laziness. It's kindness. Kindness to your brain, a chance for your heart and your brain to catch up with each other, a chance to just let things process. We live in a world where sometimes that's looked upon as a negative, but I don't see it that way. I want to introduce you to something on me. I call it my thought drawer or my brain area or whatever you want to call it, okay? A place where you keep things that you don't say out loud. And today we're pulling out something that tends to shout at us every day, 17 to 20 times a day. And no matter what we do, it doesn't change. The art of worrying. The idea of worrying. See, worrying is like a funny neighbor. Shows up with a big blue badge saying, "Hey, I'm here to help." But then trips over your furniture, sets off your smoke alarm, and when they get up, you realize they never put pants on. But here's a part we sometimes miss. Worry is usually trying to protect us. It's just not very good at its job. Can I ask you something? When you feel worried, what do you do? What does your body do? Does your shoulders creep up? Maybe your mind starts flipping through imaginary disasters like Pokemon cards? Do you talk faster? Do you get louder? Do you just feel like you're out of control? And maybe some part of you thinks you're the only one who feels this way. You're not. Sorry, you're in a big group of people, about 8 billion of us. And what I learned recently, and something I wish I learned earlier, anxiety isn't your brain failing you. It's your brain trying hard to protect you. It looks at a normal day and goes, going to the mailbox could be dangerous. Better send an alarm. But when you understand what your brain is trying to do, you can start talking back to it. Not stop worrying, you stupid brain, but something more like, "Hey, thank you for giving me help. I got this. Thanks." And I think that's the thing that we have to understand and learn from. When we grow up, we don't know how to walk. We have parents who help us walk, and then we do it on our own. We don't know how to brush our teeth, eat solid food. We don't know how to get on the school bus. We don't know how to do homework or math or algebra, or history or science. We learn, we grow, and then we do it on our own. We don't know how to drive. Someone has to teach us. We don't know what to do when we have kids or dogs or get married or buy a house. We learn. We have people who help us. Some of us don't have as much help as others, but we normally have somebody there that is in our corner or trying to help us. And then we do it on our own. Or we do it on our own and we fail and we learn. Okay? That's what worry is doing. It's saying, hey, you got this? You sure? I can still stress out for you. I can worry. I can help you out. I can make it. I can make you double, triple, quadruple check. And that's what it's for. But there comes a time when we say, hey, you've helped us. Thank you. We got this. I was that way with my kids. I was that way with driving. I was that way with teaching. The first month I taught a small little Catholic school. I had no idea what I was doing. I was stressed out every day. I was stressed out even at the end. But normally, after about a month or so, I realized I got this. Now, did I still get worried some days? I still feel pressured some days? Yes. But when I realized that this is who I am, this is what I'm made for, this is my thing, I could do it. I had students who worried. I had one who did not want to do the Gettysburg Address out loud. She was terrified. I know how that feeling is. I know the feeling. So we worked and I found a way to help her do it. Because I am a teacher, I said, you know what? I understand. You're stressed. You have anxiety. You worry. You don't want to have that, that inner voice attacking you. I get it. So we did it differently. See, here's a funny thing about that girl and other girls like her is they're really smart. They're really intelligent. They have the power to change the world, but they're a little scared to do it. They have this self-doubt where they don't think what they have to say matters enough to be loud and boisterous and to change the world. They let the worry control them. I see that in my students, and I saw that a lot in her. And what I realized is, wow, I was very similar. Except I was stressed and worried and I got louder. I got more animated. But that was to cover up my fear and my anxiety. She shut down and got quieter. She whispered a lot. It was very difficult to hear her sometimes. She let the worry monster get her. Now, she's older. I think she's graduating high school this year. She's a different kid now. And I hope she's got more, she's grown. She's let that worry beast not control her so much. Maybe turned into a puppy instead of a bulldog. I'm hoping. I don't know for sure. But I understand the worry. You see, when I taught, I had been older than most people when I started teaching. And I knew it. Everyone knew it. Everyone looked at me different. And I let that bother me. I tried to be something I wasn't when I started teaching. I tried to be younger, more hip, more happening, instead of just a teacher. So when I student taught before I became a real teacher, I was a little out of control. Now, when I became a real teacher, and after the first, end of the year, and I got to my first new year with, going in fresh, I understood, okay, this worry monster, this person, this part of me that tries to be controlling and take over and be loud, he isn't always needed. So I tweaked things. I changed the way I dealt with things, and I started seeing it affect my students. And that's when I really started changing my perspective on those. Now, I say that to say this. I understand why I feel overwhelmed. And it's not just one thing. So I got teaching under control, but not my life. See, my brain, like yours, mistakes discomfort for danger. So when something makes you uncomfortable, you second guess, you're afraid, you worry, there's stress there, right? It's that fight or flight thing. Now, some things don't make me afraid that make others afraid. Public speaking, I can do it, doesn't bother me, but my wife is terrified. I am terrified of doing this. I'm terrified of speaking into a camera, but I'm not terrified of speaking in front of people. Crazy, huh? I am terrified for people to find out who I really am. Hence why I do this, right? I'm terrified for people to understand that I'm not perfect. I used to tell my students I'm not perfect, but I know a lot of them, including my soft talker, she probably thought I had it put together. I knew what I was doing. I was in control. The difference between her and I is I've had 33 more years over her of figuring out how to deal with things. It's not that I'm better, it's just I'm older. Okay? And I think we need to start realizing when we look at older people who maybe seem like they have it put together, they have the same struggles. They've had the same struggles. It's just they've had more time to figure it out. That's it. So while her and other students struggled with talking in front of people or understanding why they needed to learn the elements or the precedents or why they didn't understand how a bill was passed, the older you get, you realize, okay, the government shutdown happens because of bureaucracy and how the bills get passed. Knowing who the president is kind of a good idea. Knowing elements, well, if you're reading a label and you know a certain element's bad and it's in the label, maybe then you go, wait, I don't want to touch that, right? But you worry about it in the beginning. You worry. So my first point of today is your brain makes discomfort for danger. When you understand this, you're not fighting yourself anymore. You're teaming up with yourself. Imagine that. You and your brain working together instead of wrestling each other like two raccoons for a Pop-Tart and a trash can. Right? Now, a lot of words have been spoken. Kind of talk fast when I get excited, as you see. So I'm going to take a second. Just pause. Like 5 seconds. Five seconds is a long time. That's crazy to think of. 5 seconds is forever in our minds now. So here's my parting thought for today. Today was basically, why do you worry? How do you deal with worry? How do you just say, you know what, brain, I got this today. I know I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not in danger. I know I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not going to die. Everything's okay. Because you showed up today. Sometimes that's the hardest part. Showed up to school, showed up to work, showed up to, a friend's house. You showed up to lunch, showed up to dinner. You showed up. You made a choice to be present somewhere. Maybe today you just showed up because you woke up. You stayed in bed because you just couldn't deal with the world today. This afternoon's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. You can do it. It's okay to be a little lost. It's okay not to have everything figured out. It's okay to feel everything is a bit, too much. You're not alone. We'll figure it out together. Next time we're going to talk about why our brains get loud. Right when we're trying to be quiet. Right when the end of the day has come. We're going to talk about why our brains don't. Why my brain doesn't shut off. Maybe yours does. Mine doesn't at night. It just says, hello world, like a big shiny dancer. I'm there for you, right? And that's the plan. We're going to do this, take our time, do it right. And it might be a slower pace, but you know what? We can do this together. Thank you all for watching, and you matter. Not just to you, to me, to the world. So thank you.